All right, so it's Friday. A little bit late on the news today because the employment report literally just came out, and I went through the entire thing. So I'm gonna bring it up over here. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So over here, you can basically see the employment report. This is basically what all the employment report kind of look like. But we were expecting 422K based on consensus. For the amount of jobs that's going to be added in December, but we had a huge miss. By a huge means I mean like more than 50%, because the non-farm payroll basically only rose by 199,000 when we expected 422,000 in December. And yeah, the market seems to be like a little bit happy about it at the first minute stake, because when this basically happened, it means that there's not as much jobs. And because when we see a miss on the employment report, it basically means that there will be less pressure for us to really go towards a tapering market. But afterwards, when we actually kind of go through it, you can basically see employment rate decline 0.3% to 3.9% in December. Let's see. Okay, for adult men 3.6%, adult women 3.6%, white 3.2, decline. Okay, teenagers 10.9, black 7.1, Asian 3.8, Hispanic 4.9. I think the blacks are a little bit lagging behind, but ultimately, basically this kind of shows that the jobs, we are not exactly at max employment. We're not exactly really close to max employment per se, which is a good thing, because we kind of want to not hit max employment in order for us to not hit a taper so early on. But the most important thing in this entire report, basically, is actually the amount of hourly wages that is actually increased. So over here in December, average hourly earnings for all employees on private non-farm payrolls increased by 19 cents to $31.31. Basically like 0.6% increase, which is horrible, because the thing is that for inflation, we are getting 0.8%. We're thinking we are getting 0.8% according to consensus. And the wages is only going up by 0.6%. So this has got to change. Because of this, what we are afraid of is that, because on top of a bad inflation report, we might go into a cluster F for the entire employment situation. So over the 12 months, basically, if you want to have a more concise report, the average hourly earning have increased by 4.7%, but our inflation is at 6.8%. So it doesn't really make sense for us to only rise by 4.7%. And because of that, it means that inflation is going faster than the rate of the wages for the people who are working in the United States. And because of that, the market is not really reacting very, very well to this entire news. So, yeah, that's the first news. All right. And for the second news, Kazakhstan leader gives security forces order to shoot without warning. Okay, so this has actually been happening for 2 days. I haven't really been looking much into it. But the thing is that basically, what actually spiked this entire protest to happen in Kazakhstan is basically the fuel price increase. And because of that, people start to protest. But the whole Kazakhstan leader force, their whole government sector, thinks that in order for them to actually lower the amount of protests in the country, is basically to shut off the internet for the entire country. If you don't have any internet, you cannot really communicate, and because of that, you are unable to basically communicate your ideas for you to actually go through the protests. That's kind of what they're going for. But the situation changes a little bit, because let me just change my screen over here, because we will be looking at crypto basically tanked because of this situation. Where's my Bitcoin? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so crypto basically tanked. Okay, so over here you see, okay, then, okay, this, first of all, this huge dip happened because of the employment report. Okay, but anyway, let's look over here. We should be having let me just change it to the 30 minutes mark so it's easier for us to see. Okay, yeah, so this drop basically is because of the whole Kazakhstan situation. I'm assuming simply because the hash rate for Kazakhstan is one of the highest in the world. If United States is first, I'm pretty sure Kazakhstan is second, because after China banned cryptocurrency in the country, basically people who are doing crypto mining and businesses around crypto basically moved over to the Kazakhstan because it's cheaper for them to actually run their businesses there. And when they shut down the internet for that, Bitcoin prices basically just plummeted, which is this entire thing happening over here. And yeah, and then right after that, since we are looking at this firsthand, because right now it's like 9:44, it's barely 15 minutes after the report came out, we see this candlestick happening, which is, Bitcoin is not liking the employment report. But yeah, basically, this is what is really happening in the market right now. And yeah, okay. And for the last news, honestly speaking, because the thing is that there's not really much news going on. So instead of me actually talking about the third news, what I actually think I would be doing is basically telling you guys my trades. Bring back the trades, because I actually told you guys before that I actually talk about all of the trades that I actually do. Usually I actually tell you guys on Fridays, which is what I would be doing now. Let me see if I have the tab for it. Okay, so over here, let's look at it a little bit. All right, so earlier this week I bought puts on Ford. I bought calls on a firm. I bought puts on Progressive, which is PGR, a insurance company. I bought puts on Funware yesterday. After I saw that they have a huge rise, and then I just thought, it's too good for me not to buy a put on. I bought Rivian puts. I told you guys about it before, which, clearly you can see from my Instagram, which if you're not following me yet, follow me over here. This is my tag for my Instagram. I post every single day, so you can basically catch up on my daily life and mostly stock tips and stuff like that over at my Instagram. I bought more Neo calls, and also I bought Robinhood puts simply to hedge my position in Robinhood. And then also afterwards I sold my puts simply for me to just bank in on a 280% return on those puts. But yeah, basically that's those are my trades for this week. Not as much as I wish it could be, simply because the market seems to be very indecisive right now, especially with this employment report. I think this employment report basically just set the stone for all of us to see that we are probably going to be having a very, very rough start to 2022. It's gonna be bad news after bad news. I feel that this is basically the consequences that we are actually paying for after pumping so much cheap money into the economy for the whole 2020 and 2021, and now we are finally paying the consequences for it. But anyway, that's all I have for today's news, and I'll see you guys next week. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys. Bye.